I've worked in 2 retail stores and I don't know if people just do this more often than I'm aware of it. Used to work for a big makeup company and had someone come in, pretended to browse, farted, and left. All while me and my coworker were greeting them and suddenly we just caught a big whiff of a fart. Another time I worked for a local clothing boutique where someone just went into the change room, closed the curtain, and walked back out with any interaction at all. I walked into the change room and again, biggest and stinkiest fart ever. Ended up spraying Febreze in there since the smell wouldn't disappear after a while. Anyways. Toot elsewhere please. This happened yesterday. For some background, where I work we keep printer ink behind the counter due to theft, and only employees are authorized to be behind the counter. On to the story. So I'm about a third into my shift when this Karen comes in and grabs a shopping cart. Me, hi, welcome in, is there anything you need particularly? Karen, yeah, just some printer ink. Me, oh, we keep those behind the counter. I don't know if she thought it was an invitation to come to look or what, but she tried to get behind the counter to where the ink is. Me, ma'am, I can't let you back here, it's employees only. Karen, I just need to see the ink I need. Me, I understand that, but due to a lot of theft we can't let anyone back here. Karen, do I look like someone who would steal? She screamed at me. Me, ma'am, it's a security risk, no customers are allowed back here. Karen, I'm offended that you'd think that way of me. Me, if you tell me what kind of ink you need I can get it for you. She tells me, I get it, and we head back to the register. I proceed to hold up the ink to show her and she tries to reach under the plexiglass to see it. Karen loses it, screaming that she should be able to get her ink, says she's not a thief and that I need to talk to my manager about this. Me, I'm sorry but it's not up to my manager, it's a corporate decision. She then runs to get something else and runs into the manager on shift who repeats the exact same thing I said. Finally, she gets her stuff, saying she'll never come back again, and spews other nonsense that usually would make me cuss someone out. I cash her out, rip the survey code off the receipt before it prints, and she leaves. Sup all, so a quick background. I work in a retail kiosk doing miscellaneous jobs in the middle of a walkway in a shopping center. We have machines going and we have a big sign with our company name on it. We only opened about 6 weeks ago. I'm in charge of building this business from the ground up for the owner. The center has signs pointing to various stores across the place. Mind you, it's not big, we have maybe 40 shops including a supermarket in 2 different locations for the bathrooms. I usually get 30-40 people asking for directions. I get maybe 20 paying customers or questions about what we do. Drives me up the wall, but what can you do, very tourist-orientated place. This bloke just went around 5 customers that are waiting to be served and asked me a question about where, some random shop I've never heard of. Interaction goes. Me, sorry mate, but I never heard of this place. It's not in this center, I'm sure. See, how do you not know? You work here and can't tell me anything. Me, mate, with all due respect, I'm with customers right now, I'm happy to Google search this place to help you, but please join the queue. See, you're the information desk, for your rudeness I'll have your job. How can you work when you don't know anything? Decided to stir the pot as the /Styre I am, and my regular customer looks at me thinking here we go. Me, oh I'm sorry mate, I'm afraid you're at the wrong place. Start tapping on my big in-your-face business sign. See, what you pointing at? Why are you tapping on the sign? Listen to the /ing words. The ball drop. See, Rudy, still very rude that you don't know your way around town. At this point I'm annoyed. I had a customer leave the queue and others are older ladies with grandkids or a young woman with toddlers. Me, alright mate, how about you either walk away and ask the actual information desk 15 meters that way where you wanna go, or I have you removed from the center because you're a d/kid. These people are being patient and you want me to do you a favor when you can't control yourself in front of these patient people? This bloke walks away all pissy and mad, but despite just going off at a random person and making a scene, not a single indication of apology. I don't have information anywhere in the shop, but apparently I was in the wrong. And #X200B. About 2 hours later, boss calls me asking what happened. Yep, that D/kid called head office. And #X200B. I usually get similar but nothing this dramatic. First things first, this did not happen to me, but a friend of mine who doesn't want to get in trouble. Any names will be changed to protect their identity. Also, I know this is more of a grocery story, but I can't find a good subreddit. Please don't hate me. It would be appreciated if, pending removal, if it has to happen, I could be directed to a more appropriate subreddit. Anyhow. Second point, the night lead was new, fresh off the training grill, and was unused to this aggravating co-worker's antics. Loaf was in the grocery store she works at, helping in the frozen section, unloading boxes of frozen foods like vegetables, chicken, fish, the like. She is working, when her co-worker, let's call her AC, for aggravating co-worker, comes over, asking to help because, as she claimed, she had worked the frozen section before. Loaf, with no reason not to believe her, said she would be glad for the help. Now, Loaf did know that AC was susceptible to cold, so when she arrived at the frozen section without a jacket or anything, Loaf asked why AC wasn't wearing anything to keep warm. Here's how the conversation went. L puts down the box she was stacking. Hey, AC, don't you get cold easily? AC, yes. L, so, where is your jacket? AC, oh, I left it in the break room. L, but you want to help me in the frozen section why didn't you grab your jacket? AC, oh, I just didn't feel like it. L, she looks at AC, you didn't feel like it? But this is the frozen section and you're susceptible to cold yeah, that makes no sense. Go get your jacket. AC, she huffs angrily. Fine, whatever. She saunters off to get her jacket. After she leaves, Loaf continues working, stacking things where they go. A few minutes later, AC returns, thankfully wearing a jacket. AC walks to the first box she sees and opens it, revealing a very specific, very obvious brand of fish, labeled the same yellow as a section of the fish wall, which is where all fish are supposed to go. AC looks at the package, then looks at the section next to her, frozen meals. Definitely not where raw fish is supposed to go. And then she continues looking for where to put the fish in that section, ignoring the fish wall completely. At first, Loaf let it slide, assuming she would realize that was not where fish go. Loaf looks over a few minutes later, and AC is still looking for the fish among the frozen meals. Loaf walks up to her and says, AC, the fish goes over there, on the fish wall, pointing to the very easily spotted wall of fish, at the end of the wall behind her, next to the deli. AC nods, and proceeds to walk over to the fish wall, but takes about 20 to 30 minutes to find where the exact brand of fish goes within the fish wall. She finally manages to put the fish away, coming back to get another box. This time, it's a box of pre-made, frozen meals. AC proceeds to take them all the way to the fish wall, despite taking a long time to look for fish in the frozen meals section which was right beside her. Loaf looks at AC strangely, before once again helping her find the right section, because as I'm sure you readers have noticed, everything is divided by sections. So, she finishes putting up that box, and picks up another one. Still frozen meals, but a different brand of frozen meals. And she once more goes to the fish section, despite having just been shown where the frozen meals go. Loaf once again gets up and directs her to the frozen meals section, only for AC to pick up another box, still of frozen meals, and head directly for the fish wall. This happened not once, not twice, but several times. The naive creature that is Loaf blew off AC's lack of awareness of the frozen section, because it has been a while since AC worked the frozen section. Loaf assumed that with enough help, AC would finally remember her way around. She did not. With each time Loaf had to help AC find the right section, she became more and more frustrated, until she huffed a little bit louder than she should have. She walked away to prevent herself from doing anything drastic, such as braining AC with a bag of shrimp, finishing up her own section and going to the restroom for a bit. When Loaf returned, AC was on the floor, sobbing her heart out and complaining to the night lead that Loaf had been bullying her and screaming at her. Now there were several co-workers who were around and had seen everything that had happened. When questioned by the lead, The co-workers all corroborated that everything AC was saying was not true, and that she had thrown similar fits in the past. AC was promptly taken off the frozen section, and another co-worker was called to help loaf. It wasn't until later that everyone finally learned why AC, having worked in the frozen section before, was unable to find where anything went within their sections. She had left her magnifying glass at home, which she needs to be able to see clearly, despite already wearing glasses with inch-thick lenses. Everything else was just plain ignorance. So, I'm working in my area of the store that I work at, and this woman and college-age son walk through. They are going through our kitchen and small electrics looking for a minute fridge. I figure they are going to look then ask me, and I would let them know that we don't carry mini fridges in store, but we do online. The lady walks around the whole area for 5 minutes before they leave, claiming that college students must have bought them all. The sassy remark I wanted to say. Yes, a whole horde of them came in just months after college started in a city that only has a community college with no dorms, and wiped us clean of the non-existent mini fridges we have, and we never saw another come in. They decided that it wasn't worth it. Note, this was multiple years ago. I was working register at a large department store chain, and once, a woman came to my register. She had a full cart and was on a phone call while she waited in line. Eventually, she came to the front of the line but remained on the phone, and she didn't even look in my direction. Then when the call finally ended, she asked why I didn't scan or bag her items. I told her she didn't even give me her stuff and I didn't want to interrupt her call, and she told me I was a fucking idiot. When I finally did scan and bagged her items, she demanded me for a discount for compensation. I told her I just can't do that. She paid full price and walked out, but she walked back in and found a manager, and then they walked to my register. She then complained that I gave her attitude and wouldn't do my job, but the manager was listening to the original conversation and just straight up called her a liar. She stormed out and said she's calling corporate because she shops here all the time. I never even saw her before, but she didn't. Lol.